Few artists have Taylor Swift's clout in the music industry. She's sold more than 170 million records worldwide. Now many artists are asking, if she can't own her own music, who can?
Are you ready for it?
In a social media post, Swift hit out at the founder of her first label, Big Machine Records, for refusing to sell her own master recordings, including all 6 of her multi-platinum albums, before he sold the company. Swift wrote,
"For years I asked, pleaded for a chance to own my work. Instead, I was given an opportunity to sign back up to Big Machine Records and earn 1 album back at a time, 1 for every new one I turned in. I walked away because I knew once I signed that contract, Scott Borchetta would sell the label, thereby selling me and my future."
But Scott Borchetta says the final deal offered to Swift would have given her control of her albums if she remained with Big Machine Records. Instead, the pop superstar signed to a new label, Universal, in November. It agreed to let her own all her future recordings, which gives her creative control and a bigger cut of the profits. The value of original masters has increased as fewer people buy songs, choosing to stream them instead. Swift's former label has been sold to music manager Scooter Braun. That means he'll make money from every song she released before last November. She says he bullied her for years and encouraged his clients, including Kanye West, to try to dismantle her career. Borchetta and Braun's wife have both denied the accusations. Swift wrote,
"This is my worst case scenario. This is what happens when you sign a deal at 15.
In the wake of her post, several artists have come out in support of Swift, saying the system is exploitative and that she and other artists should have a right to buy back their recordings if they can afford it. Many fans are sharing a speech Swift made 3 years ago when she won Album of the Year at the Grammys for a second time.
There are going to be people along the way who will try to undercut your success or take credit for your accomplishments or your fame. But if you just focus on the work and you don't let those people sidetrack you, someday when you get where you're going, you'll look around and you will know that it was you and the people who love you who put you there."
This isn't the first controversy Swift has been involved in, nor is it the first time she's taken on monoliths of the industry.
It all seems so simple.
But she has had to walk away from 13 years' work, and that will be hard to shake off. Arabella Munro, TRT World.
I remember.
Let's get more on this now from Dahl. He joins us from Sudbury in Canada. He's an entertainment lawyer and a drummer for the rock band One Bad Son. Thank you for joining us here on Money Talks. Explain to us how something like this could happen, that an artist as famous and influential as Taylor Swift would not own the rights to her own music. How is that possible?
You know, it's a great question. And I mean, the first thing that struck me with this story is that there are definitely 2 very different sides to this story, as you can tell by the press releases from Taylor and Scott. Taylor paints the picture of the innocent artist being bullied by the big bad record label, and Big Machine paints a different story. They say that they gave her the option to buy the masters, and she chose not to. So, as is always the case in these situations, I think the truth is somewhere in between those 2 extremes.
So is this a case of Swift making bad business decisions? As she said, she was 15 years old when she, signed on. You can imagine a 15-year-old isn't very business savvy and just wants to be a singer and a star. Or is this common in the music industry?
Yeah, artists not owning their masters is unfortunately quite common. Especially in the major label world, which of course she's operating. I think that's starting to change. I think more and more labels, especially mid-sized labels, are offering, some sort of reversion rights with the masters. So at a certain point in time or at a certain point in revenue, the artist then gets their ownership back in the masters. And I think that for myself as an entertainment lawyer and a musician, that's something I always push for. I think it's fair for artists to own their masters at some point in their career.
As you said, that this is fairly common. So other artists who might be in similar situations that don't own their own music. Taylor Swift obviously is a huge celebrity, and she certainly doesn't seem to be hurting for money. But How are artists able to even make money in a situation like this? Also, given that streaming is becoming more common and people less and less are paying for music these days.
Yeah, and that's sort of the $1 million question, or the $300 million question in the music biz right now is how will artists earn money from from the actual use of their music? And what you find is most artists don't make much money from their music itself. The music is more like a business card in order for them to get out on tour and sell tickets that way. But I think that yeah, this is a huge case because, like I said, I truly believe that artists should have the right to get back their masters, and I think this might change the way that these major label deals are negotiated.
All right, Kurt Dahl, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time out to give us some insight into this.